Blue Button is the story of a girl looking for a friend and finding that friend in an unexpected way.
I'm really close to the story. It's sort of the fictionalization of what happened to me, if that's a word. It's like, essentially, growing up, I didn't really grow up in one particular place. We moved all the time. But I always saw all my friends, like, lived in the same place their whole lives. And that's kind of like a lonely and strange place to be in for a kid. But at the same time, I grew a lot from that because I realized that sometimes your friends are your home.
My first memory of this story was before it was written, and I had asked students to write a story about the place they grew up, or set in the place where they grew up. And Kristen Mary came to me after class and said, well, I didn't grow up in one place. I just moved all the time, and I just don't know that anybody will relate to that because that's nobody else's experience. And my advice to her at that moment was, you know, tell that story because in the specificity, the particularity of your story, I think there will be a universal connection.
You may not be able to relate directly to moving around, but I think the whole concept, the whole structure of building up expectations and anticipations that don't that don't fulfill your expectations in the end. I think all of us have experienced that at some point in our life.
My role as a costume and makeup designer is I did a lot of research into the time period and the story takes place between 1987 and 1996, which is not only a turn of a decade, but also a time where things are much simpler. We didn't have the instant communication that we've grown used to nowadays. Everything took time and patience.
As the art directors, it's our job to create the universe that the story takes place in. Everything from what you see in the background, the chairs, the props, the toys, tie-dye t-shirts.
Jelly toy thingies that no one knows what they are, but everyone has them.
Anyway.
So we'll bring all that ambience of that to our film.
Our goal is to resurrect this golden decade.
And I am one of the producers, along with Kristen Mary, and we will be doing lots of paperwork, lots of regulations, lots of finding people to do things, finding actors, paying actors, finding locations, all that fun stuff that no one really thinks about.
It's pretty much all of the stuff that has to happen before we say action, and after.
We have a really great social media team. We've hired on someone who's actually starting up their own social media company to manage all of the logistics and posting different things and the analytics and stuff like that. We have a lot of great content coming out for you guys that relates to the story, things about people's characters, that just really elaborates a lot more on the story and that you can't get if you are not on social media. It really adds a lot to the experience of watching the film later on.
No matter how much passion and energy a team has, unfortunately it really can't finance a film. And so we would love your help in raising funds so that we can really just pull all of our resources to make this the best we can.
When we make films, we're working as a group. We work with actors who need to be fed and who have to spend the night somewhere. We use equipment, so all of that costs money. If the only way that we can pay for those things is through some kind of commercial enterprise where we're selling something, then there are a lot of beautiful stories that can't be told. I think Blue Button is one of those stories. The only way this story really gets to be told, and told well, is if people just say, it's worth me sending a few dollars so that this can happen.
You're just gonna have to see it. You're gonna have to watch the film to know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you'll never know.